Okay, Simon. Yes. Hello, traders. Good afternoon. And yes, I mean, I've been trading for the last 30 years or so. And for the last 10 years, I've been a trader coach and also a full-time professional trader. So today, what I'm going to be talking about is price action scalping strategy, looking at low risk, high probability trades. By the way, I presume everybody can see the PowerPoint presentation, yes?
Yes, perhaps worth just double checking before we get into it, using that chat box again, folks. If you could just say that you are looking at the sort of the grey slide with the yellow and white writing, it should be in front of you. Great, super. Okay, and we're hearing and seeing. Okay, so carry on, Jay. Over to you.
Okay, right. So today, what I'm going to show you how easy it is to profit from the markets. Now, it is said that 90% of traders lose money, but you know what? It need not be the case. It is as simple as ABC, and it is truly a child's play. Before I go into the presentation, just a bit of a risk warning. It should be understood that trading involves high risk, and you can lose a lot of money. Only surplus funds need to be placed at risk, and anyone who does not have such funds should not participate in trading. And it may not be suitable for everybody. Having said that, as I said earlier on, if you know what you're doing, then trading mastery is a child's play. Now, what will you learn today from me? And it is possible to have a very high percentage win-loss ratio, right? And you can get as high as 70, 80, and if you're really disciplined, up to 90% winning ratios. And I'm going to show it to you with live data and trades, signals generated not only today, but this week as well. It is possible to have a very high reward and a low risk ratio. Now, generally with this system, you can basically work on a risk reward of 1 to 3, i.e. risking just £1 or €1, $1 to make as much as £3, right? Now, as I said earlier on, trading is easy. It is a child's play, but obviously you need to be disciplined to follow the trading system. Now, these days, as every time you mention that it is a child's play, you can have a very high win ratios, very high success ratios. People will jump and say, "Hey, that's bullshit. That's rubbish. Trading is not easy. Trading is difficult. This is a scam, etc., etc., etc." But you know what? You determine your destiny, isn't it? You are what your beliefs are. Now, if your beliefs are that it is damn easy, then it is going to be damn easy. If your beliefs are that I'm going to be a disciplined trader, then yes, you will have that patience to wait for a low risk, high probability trade. Yeah. And today I'm going to prove it to you how damn easy it is. Now, you see, you don't need an MBA. You don't need a master's degree. You don't need to go to university, to the college, or anything like that. Just average intelligence will do, right? I repeat, just average intelligence will do, combined with mental fitness, okay? You could have a damn good trading system, but you could have a poor mental fitness. There's absolutely no way you're gonna win in this market. Or you could have a very simple, basic system, but you have got the discipline, you have got a ability to manage your emotions, then definitely you will make a lot of money from the markets. Key point is you got to follow the KISS principle, right? Keep it simple, keep it simple. Often I see a lot of traders, they tend to overcomplicate matters. They have charts which are so messy. There's so much of garbage in it. There's so many indicators in it. And you can't really make up what the hell's going on, right? So keep it simple. Don't overcomplicate things, because simple things in life work. And you know what? There are no secret codes out there. There is no holy grail out there. There are no secret algorithms out there. And my system is very, very, very simple. It is simply a price action based system. Basically, I trade what I see. I do not trade the news. I do not focus on fundamentals. I just focus on simple price action 1 to 3 pattern. 1 to 3 pattern is basically Fibonacci retracement, as simple as that. You can trade the system in stocks, commodities, indices, ETFs, anything that moves, you can trade it. I'll also show you how you can trade big news. And in addition to that, focus on trader psychology and mental fitness. So let me just start by showing you guys this morning trade signals. Now, I got a lot of members, who would have like 6 to 8 screens. They're focusing on 40 to 50 charts, each individual currencies. And I got guys who just trade maybe 2 or 3 charts. So at the end of the day, you got a system you apply to anything that you want. Now, when I'm doing my webinars and tutorials, I generally tend to focus on sort of like 9 charts here. And sometimes I could expand it to 12 charts. But anything more than that, it could be overwhelming for a lot of traders, because some of them, they just want to focus on only a few things. So at the end of the day, you devise a platform, whatever suits you, right? So here it is, this morning's trade. I mean, these are 9 charts. And, I'll expand on the trading system as we go along. So is it possible to have 80 to 90% winning trades or 70% winning trades? Yes, it is, right? So this is a snapshot of trades this morning, okay? And as you can see, 10 winning trades. The green ones are winning trades. The white ones here are the losing trades. And one of the things we focus on is we manage the trades. We cut the losses, let the winners run. And that is when we get the risk reward very low, risking very little for high returns, okay? I mean, that's GBP USD, a perfect sell signal, down she goes. And here again, you got UK 100 FTSE, a perfect long signal there. And German DAX, French, and so on, right? So at the end of the day, is you can achieve the success which this system will give you. Now, this is a screenshot of midday, just before we started this webinar. Again, looking at it, 10 winning signals, right? And only 2 losing signals. And 2 losing signals came on the GBP there. Okay, didn't quite work out. Same with GBP JPY. Subsequently, it turned out, reversed it into a long trade. All right. Now, the thing with trading is, you trade what you see, and as I said, this is a scalping system, intraday scalping system. So you're looking to take on trades, and generally you are going to be in the trade anything between 5 minutes to an hour, sometimes as much as a couple of hours. Okay, sometimes when the going gets your way, you could be in that trade for as much as half a day. Okay, so the key point is if the system is long and you're in the buy mode, You simply got to be in the trade. Now, here, this is German DAX. Morning was a nice long signal. Price goes up, and then it retraces at this pivot point. And again, I'll be talking more about this pivot points as we go along. And then it reverses, and down she goes. Do I care where the market goes? No, I don't give a damn, right? If the market wants to go up, I'm quite happy. If the market wants to go down, I'm quite happy. Basically, with this system, you're looking for confluences of indicators, right? Confluences of indicators. I need to have minimum of 3 reasons why I am basically taking that trade, okay? And I've just briefly explained to you about the system, and I'll expand a bit more about myself, who I am. As I say, I'm Jay Lakhani, professional trader. I'm a full-time trader. I've been doing this for the last 10 years. I'm also a trader coach, mentor, and I'm author of this wonderful book, Forex Mastery, A Child's Play. It truly is a child's play. And it's available from Amazon.com. If you haven't read it, highly recommended that you do purchase it. It not only covers strategies, but I focus a lot on mental fitness into trader psychology. Moving on, this is the Bindle Momentum Indicator. This is what I'm going to be talking about today, explaining you why it is so easy to make money from this market. I'm the author of this wonderful indicator. And here, as you can see, I mean, you know, these are 12 charts, all in a day, and over 600 pips in a single day. In addition to that, when I get newbie members, I do live broadcasts. Now, the indicator on its own is good enough. Now, when you become graduate, you know how to fish. But when you're a newbie trader, you need somebody to hold your hand. You need somebody to guide you. You need somebody to help you to stay in that trade, to not cut that winning trade. You need somebody to guide you with mental fitness. You need somebody to help you to take that tiny loss, okay? So this is where my live broadcast comes into play. Now, especially good for the newbie traders. Often they are there for a few weeks, a month, and afterwards they're basically doing things on their own. And sometimes if they just need a little bit of push, they come back into the live trading room. And here what we do is we tell you what to do, when to do, why to do, how to do. A simple example here, I'm saying at 8:44 GBP USD watch list for longs. A few minutes later, I said GBP USD get ready to pounce. And then once you pounce, this is where you basically get in and up it goes. It was easy 50 pip move. Again, another example of a live trading broadcast. Now here I'm actually sharing a screenshot and I'm saying when exactly you need to enter into this market, and there you go, and up it goes. It is easy 100 pip move. Now the key is when you follow the system with discipline, often within 5-10 minutes you will end up hitting your take profit 1 target. I generally split my positions into 3 lots. TP1, I take profit 1, TP2, TP3. TP3 is basically without a target. I'm aiming to be in the trade for as long as possible, right? So if it's 100 pips, so be it. If it's 200 pips, so be it. But the stops are being trailed, okay? So I'm not gonna cut my my profits. Yes, I'm gonna cut my losses, but I'm not gonna cut my profits. In addition to that, what I do is live trading seminars. Now, these are not training courses because the training courses are done online by video tutorials. And afterwards, I do have live trading seminars, me in person. So I'm on the stage showing you or sharing my live trading screen. I'm physically taking those trades, and as I take those trades, I'm explaining the reasons why I'm taking those trades. Okay, because by this time when you attend the live session, you have done the basics. Now the live trading seminars is just not for half hour, 1 hour. I mean, for example, up here, what you see, this was a live trading seminar I had done in Sussex a couple of months ago. We started at 7 a.m. in the morning, right? We carried on till 9 p.m., okay? Best part of the entire, end of the Asian session, start of the European session, end of the American market. And just that one day was worth nearly 300 pips. Okay, so again, it's trading on a live account, real account. It is not a demo account. Attendees can see my trades, right? And you know, when you Google out there live trading seminars, you know what? I don't think you'll actually find anybody who is actually doing it for whole day long. Now, I just don't do this in London. I've done live seminars in UK, in Switzerland. I've done it in India, Dubai. I've done it in America. I've done it in Canada. And the key is, it is my mission to create a community of successful traders because, as I say earlier on, it is a child's play. You need not lose from the market. It really is as simple as that. Bindle scalping system. It is basically a price action based, and within that I have got the Bindle momentum indicators. I've got a Bindle trigger line. So when the trigger line is red, all I'm doing is I'm looking for short, and if it's green, I'm looking for long. As simple as that. Then I've got unique proprietary Bindle pivot points. Okay, these are not the normal pivot points you see on the charts. These are price action based, taking a top-down approach. I'm looking at a 1, 2, 3 setup. Now, no rocket science with 1, 2, 3 setup. All this is a Fibonacci retracement. Entry is very important, right? Very, very, very important. Is like, I would like to get in as close to the trigger line as possible. Again, all of that I'll be explaining as we go along. For scalping, I look at those charts with low spreads. Okay, I don't want to look at any charts, which has got a 10 pip spread, because what I want is, as soon as I've done a trade, within minutes, I've banked my TP1. Okay, and once your TP1 is banked, you are aiming to get your TP2 and TP3. The emotions are in control. You know, you're not fearful at all. Okay, aim is to risk little and aim big. Okay, cut the losses and let the winners run. And in terms of technical analysis, I don't look at too many things. You know, you've got hundreds and hundreds of candle patterns, so many chart patterns. I really don't have time to look at any of those. I don't have time to look at fundamental news. I don't have time to look at political news. I'm not at all saying that they are rubbish. Yes, they are good if you do understand. But look, I would like to be a specialist, a master of one thing, rather than doing bits throughout and fail. Okay, so I'm a master of the scalping system. In addition to that, I also got the Bindle swing trading. So the three things I really focus on is triangle, a wick, or this is a tail, and railway tracks, right? These are really good reversal patterns. Now, they on its own are useless, But if it happens, if you get a railway track at a trigger point, if you get a railway track at a pivot point or a wick, it is a near 90% probability that that trade is going to go in your favor. Now, why do traders fail, right? Simple two things. They don't have a trading plan. They don't have a trading system methodology. And secondly, trader psychology. Just these two things, right? I won't give you a long list of why they fail, okay? At BindalFX, we give you both of this. We give you a trading plan, a trading system, a methodology that works and works very well, okay? And as I said earlier on, you could have a damn good trading plan, but if you have weak mental fitness, you will fail. And again, this is area we try and hold your hand. When you join us, we don't leave you on your own. Okay, so now moving on to just the chart analysis. I mean, this is a basic template which often many of the members use. And at a glance, you have got these 8 or 9 or 12 charts. And as soon as you're ready to take on the trade, you simply expand and you analyze and see what the price action is doing. I'm going to go through some trades or trade signals just in the last 2 days or so. So here you have is a German DAX easy 75 pip move. Now, what is the system? The system is very simple. And here, this is the Bindle momentum scalping indicator. For a low risk, high probability trade, B1, B2, B3, and B4 has to be the same color. Okay, this does a top-down analysis. Here I'm looking at 1 minute, I'm looking at 15-minute, 30-minute hourly chart. For scalping, I don't need to look at 4 hourly charts. I don't need to look at daily. I don't need to look at weekly, right? Just this top-down analysis. Now, when I'm actually trading, I can just trade off that 1 minute chart, period. I don't need to waste my time looking at an hourly chart because just on that 1 minute chart, it has done all that analysis. This is price action based. It's in addition to that, it is looking at number of other indicators. It's looking at divergences. It's looking at momentum, etc., etc., etc. Right? So everything has been simplified and combined it so that you just need to read only 1 minute chart. Now just have a look at this 1 minute chart. Is it simple? Yes, it is KISS principle. In addition to that, you have got these colored pivot points, right? Again, these are price action based pivot points looking at a top-down approach, top-down analysis. And often they act on as a very strong support and resistance levels. And when those support holds, the subsequent pivot breaks, you see a mega move. Here, for example, the red pivot, I mean, this is one of the most important pivot. And often when that breaks, in addition to that, I've also got a green pivot. When this breaks, you expect a mega move. And all I'm really looking for is a 1, 2, 3 pattern above the trigger line. So this is the trigger line here. Okay, the trigger line is not just moving average, but the starting point of the trigger line is a moving average. Combined with it is some other indicators. Okay. So if the trigger line is red, I'm looking for shorts. When the trigger line is green, I'm looking for longs. And at the end of the day, I'm looking for confluences of indicators. So here, if we look at what are the confluences of indicators, i.e., reason number 1, B1 to B4, all green. Reason number 2, very strong support at the magenta pivot. Yes, it breaks, but I don't have a momentum below it. I don't have a 1, 2, 3 below it. You got the green pivot holding on. So I got 2 pivots close by each other and holding on really well. Prices break. The white pivot breaks, the red pivot comes back down and kisses the trigger line, and as you can see here, this is the railway track, okay? And then this is your 1, 2, 3 pattern. All this is no rocket science. For a long, it is a higher low. For a short, it'll be a lower high. And as soon as you get the price getting about the ribbon, you take on a trade and up it goes, and easy 75 pip move. Okay. Again, this was yesterday. German DAX 150 pip move. This was again something which I covered in my live trading broadcast. Okay. So as I said to you earlier on, is you know, I don't care if the market goes up. I don't care if the market goes down. All I care is it moves. So early in the morning, we're looking at longs. We bank nice juicy profits. TP1, TP2, TP3 gets stopped out, and then we get a breakout to the downside. You got B1 and B4 all red. So this here, it's taken a top-down analysis. Okay, now aggressive trades. Yes, I will take on trades when if at least 2 of these bars are the same color. So let's say if 2 are green, provided the trigger line is green, I'll take on a trade. Or if 2 are red, but the trigger line is red, I'll take on a short trade. In addition to that, you got to have the break or support and resistance break at the pivot points. Okay, so you always look for confluences of indicators. Now, I told you earlier on is I don't trade the news. I don't trade the political news. But one of the things what I do is after this mega news, nearly 80 to 90% of the times prices go right up to those pivot points. It stops as soon as I see a wick. I'm looking to get in, and as I say, look, often I trade 3 lots. Sometimes I could trade as much as 5 lots, and as price keeps coming down, I am taking profits, incremental profits. Okay, so this is after the news, resistance at pivots, great opportunity to short. So look at that. This was a massive move up and then massive move down. Okay, see, prices will never go in one straight line. It goes zigzag, zigzag. Okay, and this is where the 1, 2, 3 setups comes into play. This is another example, non-farm payrolls. Okay, now I keep repeating this, is I do not trade fundamental news. I'm not an expert on fundamental news. I do not understand fundamental news. Okay, I am an expert on trading the BindalFX indicator. I do not trade political news. I don't care who is saying what. Okay, I do not try and forecast the market, right? All I'm interested in is what time is the news, what time Joe Blogs is making a speech, and 5 to 10 minutes before that event, I am not going to gamble and take a trade, as simple as that. And 5 or 10 minutes after that event, again, I will not take a trend. I will not take a trend. I will wait for the dust to settle, right? I will wait for the dust to settle. Now, often whenever you are listening to these so-called gurus and experts, I mean, non-farm payrolls is a classic example. I don't know whether you have ever noticed it, but you could have say 3 consecutive months, you have got exact similar sort of data, exact similar sort of sentiment, but the prices have moved in different direction. Now, tell me one thing, who can justify why it moved 100 pips after the release? The commentators are inventing a story. When you watch those news, they're telling you, oh, the non-farm payrolls came out, prices went up 100 pips because of blah, 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 blah. I don't understand that crap. Then it comes down 100 pips. Okay? And this is what I'm interested in. It comes all the way down to the magenta pivot. You got a nice 1 to 3 break of 0.2 and 0.3, and price then shoots off 150 pips. Now, you know what? Every time you got news, every time, I mean, the budget yesterday, the British budget was a classic example, price comes down. Then GBP, it shoots off. So when it is coming down, I'm not trading it. I don't want to trade. I let the amateurs or so-called gurus and professionals, let them do whatever. Because as I say, price goes in a zigzag pattern. Okay? Once they are in, let them do whatever. And once that fib retracement comes into play, that is when I would like to get in. But you see, those retracement has to have confluences of indicators, has to have those pivot points, has to have B1 to B4 in that direction, has to have the trigger point in the same direction of your trade. You see, otherwise it is useless. Yeah, I will not try and forecast the market. Often, you know, when I'm doing a webinar, you know, people would ask me, hey, do you think we'll get a Christmas rally? Do you think FTSE will end at 7,500? And I said, I don't care. I really don't care, right? Now, those of you who have been following me on Facebook, on my Facebook page for Expedia, a classic example was the US election, right? I went on record. I said, look, if Clinton wins, market will go sky high. Okay, you can see that. These were posted before the event, but I analyzed the market, I analyzed the sentiment, and I said, look, if Clinton wins, market will go sky high, and then you will get a mother of all short opportunity. If Trump wins, market will collapse, and it will give you one of the best buying opportunities ever. Guess what? That is exactly what happened. And you know what? For 36 hours, I had not slept, right? I was trading live. Not only trading live, I was doing this live trading broadcast. At one stage, I had something like 50 traders trading with me. Brexit what? Again, it was the same thing. And then in the morning, I actually do a live broadcast. This was a Facebook Live I had done. Feel free to go onto my Facebook, and you can actually see that recording. Okay. So the key point is after the big move, I wait for the dust to settle. I do not have a judgment. Market is always right. I do not argue with the market. As simple as that. I do not argue with the market. Okay, moving on. Okay, moving on. I'm going to look at some currencies. Again, this was a couple of days ago, euro dollar. Okay, confluences events. Here B1 and B2 are green, B3 and B4 are red. But at this time, I had lots of confluences of indicators. Now, the pivot points, they keep changing in line with the price action. So in the morning, the pivots were around here, okay? And I had a 1, 2, 3 above the trigger. The trigger was green, okay? Easy money there. And later on, price goes down. Easy money, okay? So I'm riding it to the long side, I'm riding it to the downside. Again, GBP, easy trade there, okay? Easy on the long side, down she goes. So I'm trading it both ways, yeah? I'm trading it both ways. This is Wall Street a couple of days ago. Look at that, massive 150 pip move. Again, lots of confluences of indicators here, okay? This is gold, again, a couple of days ago, 100-point move. So by the time you add on that decimal, that is 1,000 pips, isn't it? 1,000 pips, you got lots of confluences of indicators. That is the key. You've got to have confluences of indicators. You've got to have the minimum of 3 reasons why you're taking that trade. Okay, I will trade anything that moves. Okay, I don't care what it is. This is Bitcoin. Now, Bitcoin, I don't use it on a 1-minute chart. This is something I only trade on a swing trading basis. So this is my swing trading indicator, which again you get when you become a member of BindalFX. 1,800 pip move. Okay, 1,800 pip move. Now, to understand everything, either mechanics of Bitcoins or the stocks or fundamentals, I think it's a fool's game. I do not want to be an expert into why it moved, what are the reasons behind it moved, when will it move, etc., etc. I simply do not care. All I care is, did it move? Was there a 1, 2, 3 setup? B1 to B4, was it green or red? Did it break the pivot points? If the answer was yes, 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 I take on a trade. I am not worried about ifs and buts and what have you, okay? This is AAPL Apple, again, simple 500 pip move. For stocks, I generally use like an intraday indicator, okay? There's also a swing trading. You can also use it on the scalping indicator as well. So there are 3 indicators. You got the scalping, you got the intraday, you got the swing. But for stocks, I generally like to use the intraday. And if I'm really looking for my long-term positions, for example, my SIPs or my ISA, and obviously I trade my own investments, then I'm looking at a swing trading. So this indicator will work on anything that moves. Okay, I'll sort of like quickly whiz through this because I think we're coming close to the time. And obviously I will want to take on some questions from you guys. Now, what are the Bindle successful traders doing? Okay. If you go into my website, you can see real testimonials, real success stories, real statements, which they are sharing with me. What they do is they cut the losses and let the winners run. Their average profits are higher than the average losses, okay? They follow the trading plan with discipline. And obviously, if they don't, I give them a big kick on their backside because that's what they are paying me to do, okay? I look at their trading journals, I look at their trading statements, and if they're not doing what the system is telling them to do, if they're self-sabotaging, I'm there to guide them. Patience is the key. It's very important. You've got to wait for the low risk, high probability trade, right? Don't have expectation. Trade what you see. Okay, I always tell them that focus on the system, but do not focus on the money. Because if you focus on the system, the byproduct of that is mega profits, right? But the moment you start focusing on that pound, shillings, or pence, right, on the dollars, on the euro, what sort of vibrations are you getting? The fear comes into play. But if you say, hey, look, I'm just focusing on my system saying buy, I don't care, it's gone up 200 pips, I'm still in that trade. I'm not going to snatch that profit. I'm going to let that winners run. Okay? Mental toughness. This is where we guide you, right? We really guide you to have that mental toughness. You decide when to enter, when to exit. You decide when to take your trading decisions based on the trading system. Don't listen to Joe blogs out there, right? That's very important. Once you have got a system, focus on it. And you are the biggest mentor, right? When I'm teaching my students, I'm saying that, look, I'm not your master. I said, you are the master. Okay? You learn from your losses. You learn from the trading journal. It's very important. And lastly, my members, they invest in themselves, in their personal development. You know what? This is something which I myself, even today, I still do it. I work on my psychology. I work on my mental fitness. I remember, this is going back many years ago, I was in New York at one of the World Money Show. Okay, there was this young lady. She is an expert, Adrienne Tograi. She's an expert on trader psychology, mental fitness. And I remember I had a session with her, $600 an hour. Okay, and you know what? Those sessions I had with her really, really helped me, okay? And, you know, it's made me into what I am. I used to go to various seminars and personal development stuff. I go to things like meditation clinics, yoga clinics, and that does help me. And this is what I guide my traders to do, and they do it. And the results are, they are successful, and that's the key. So obviously, I'm going to take on some questions, but whilst you guys are getting ready to write your questions, I'll be happy to talk to you about this special offer, especially for Simon's members here. It's the Black Friday sale. It's my one-to-one coaching, one-to-one mentoring. And as you can see, if you go into my website, the normal price is £2,500. But today, and this expires on Friday night, all you do is you pay £997. And I don't have this link live, so maybe Simon, you can actually copy and paste it. It's forexmentor.net/one-to-one offer. Okay, now what you get for this is license to all the Bindle momentum indicators. You get free entry to the live trading broadcast with trade setups, and I showed you how that works. You get invites to live trading seminars, and you know, you saw some pictures. Obviously, being a one-to-one mentoring member, I mean, generally my live seminars cost over £1,000, but for one-to-one mentoring, all they do is they just pay the basic cost. I think last time was like £199, which would be an additional cost, but you don't have to pay the full back. And you get to trade with me all day. Now, it's not just a one-to-one seminar. You get a group of 20 or so traders. So you get a chance to network with traders. Many of them have gone on to create their own clubs, and they trade together. Okay, and often trading on your own can be quite lonely. You get trader psychology and mental fitness guidance from me all the time. We work on one-to-one conference calls. So again, here what I'm doing is I'm hoping to help you to ensure that you succeed. Okay, I analyze your trading journals on a regular basis. Now, generally, when a new member joins, often I'll sort of be communicating with them on a regular basis. And subsequently, obviously, once they become experts, they are able to go and fish for themselves. And, they can basically come to me as and when they need. But obviously, as I say, I'm always there to guide them, especially in the early days of their trading career. As I said, that's the link for the special offer, and that's the email. If you do have any queries, any questions, feel free to email me. If you'd like to talk to me, that's my phone number. But obviously, I request you to not to phone me straight away. Because if I'm trading, because look, I'm a full-time trader, my bread and butter comes from trading. Training is just my part-time hobby. And, why do I train? Because you know what? When I train, I get better and better at what I do. So imagine, like, I'm doing this seminar. I'm going through my trading system. I'm talking of trader psychology. I'm talking of trading discipline. What is it doing to my emotions? I'm getting better at my job all the time. If I do a one-to-one, it's helping me. If I'm doing a live trading webinar, it's adding that discipline to my life. Can you imagine? Is there anybody out there who starts, he's at a conference center at 7 a.m. in the morning and trading all day long till 9 p.m.? I very much doubt whether there's anybody out there who does it. But what is that doing to me, right? It is adding awful lot of discipline in my life. Yeah. So if you want to talk to me, I suggest send me a text message or a WhatsApp message, and then I'll be quite happy to arrange a conference call with you. And of course, that is my website. Yeah. So Simon, that's me done. Over to you. If there are any questions,
There are.
fine. And about 10 minutes left. I'll be quite happy to go through some live charts if any members has got any questions.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you, Jay. Let's get started on these questions if we can. First of all, Leighton says, what platforms do your indicators work on? For example, NinjaTrader?
Unfortunately, at the moment, it only works on MT4 platform. But in the coming year, I'll be looking at other charting softwares as well.
Okay, so MT4. How often do you provide the live trading sessions?
Okay, the live trading sessions, generally I'm doing, well, the live broadcast, which is through my WhatsApp, that is done on a daily basis. Generally, I'm very active first thing in the morning, and also early afternoon. Okay, and the live webinars, normally I tend to do it once a fortnight, and the live seminars, I tend to do it once every 2 months. Winter time, I'm not planning to do any, as normally winter I tend to be traveling a lot. But the next seminar I have is in February next year.
Okay, super. Let's see. Doug is saying, when do you normally start trading? at the German Open or the London Open?
Okay, these days I've actually cut down a bit on my trading as now I got to enjoy life as well. But you know what? The best times to start trading is just after 6:30 a.m. London time. Okay. I personally tend to start at the German Open, which is just after 8 a.m. And I tend to sort of work for an hour, hour and a half, wait till all the major news are out of the way. And I personally then take a nice long break from 10 a.m. till 1 p.m. And then I trade a couple of hours in the afternoon session. And I tend to sort of close just before the Europe close. Often, well, sometimes I may trade the evening, either Wall Street. But, you know, in my early days, I used to start the day at 6 a.m. And of course, in between, do take a lot of breaks and tend to trade right up till 9 p.m. And quite a few of my guys, they tend to do this. So especially if you're a new trader, the more time you spend in front of the screen, the better it is. But once you really become an expert and you have graduated, all you need is a couple of hours in the morning, couple of hours in the afternoon, and an hour in the evening. 1 hour in the evening, generally from about 7 p.m. UK time, and maybe just before the US market close. Yeah, so these are the hours I am trading at the moment, and that still provides me with awful lot of pips.
Fantastic, fantastic. Now, question from Hushang: is the Bindle system installed on your individual computer, or is it something?
Yes, that's right. So the system is attached to your MT4 trading platform. And we got a step-by-step tutorial how you can do that. And today, virtually 90% of the brokers do have an MT4 platform anyway. And, you know, they've got a huge sort of FX pairs as well as commodities, indices, and so on. So you can trade anything and everything. Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. Do you have any sort of performance statistics, anything like that people can point to?
Yeah, I mean, let's just quickly take you through the platform. Okay, so that's my live platform. Also, let's say once we got time, feel free to visit my website. That is www.forexmentor.net. And if you look at the information, under information, you got these testimonials, okay? And as you scroll down, you'll actually see lots of success stories from real traders sharing their live trading accounts. I mean, here you got an email from Jim, 900 quid in a day. There's Dipti Patel, 800 pounds, and so on. Here is Steve Warren saying just bank 350 pounds, so easy, and also sharing the chart there. Richard saying first time I achieved a profit of 200 pounds on a single trade. Dipti Shah here, this is a newbie trader, chartered accountant who packed up a full-time job, banking over 3,000 pounds, etc., etc. So go through the website. Now here, let me just sort of like, as we still got some time, go through a couple of charts. So let's say this is my German DAX, and as you can see, always I'm looking for confluences of indicators, and we sort of like start up here, and you can see is the key point is B1 to B4 are all red. So I'm looking for a short there, and the key point here is I'm looking for a trade only if there is a 1 to 3 setup. Okay, and as I mentioned earlier on, is 1 to 3 or fib retracement back to the trigger. The pivots are the key. So look at that. First thing in the morning, you got a very nice trade to the downside, easy, nearly 70 pip move. Okay, and then subsequently you got a nice long signal from there onwards, and that was nearly 100 pip move. But look at how the price behaves at these pivot points, and you see you get a break of the red, the yellow, magenta, green, but it stalls at the aqua, and aggressively here you could have entered. Okay, it was about the trigger, but at that stage B1 is red, B2 is red, B3 is red, sorry, B4 is red, but B4 was green. Okay, so that was again a nice move to the downside, and now it's actually gone up, and see how it basically resisted at the green pivot, and currently it's sort of like a 50-50 scenario. Obviously coming to the German close, so normally wouldn't want to take on a trade there, but right now B1 is red, B4 is red. I got a bit of a support at the pivot 5 and the pivot 2, and very strong resistance at the green. It's below the aqua. So as soon as it starts getting below the magenta and breaks the yellow, I'll be looking to take a short trade. Now, say supposing if this setup was first thing in the morning, or right throughout the session as opposed to close of play, this would have been a fantastic trade. Yeah. Here again, once we're talking, GBP USD, that fired a really nice signal there, and as you can see, is B1 is red, B2 is red, B3 is red. Prices come, you see that's a big move down. Okay, retraces back up. So all I'm doing is I'm looking for a pullback back to the pivot, back to the trigger line. So here the confluences, I got pivot 2, which is the yellow pivot, the red pivot, the trigger line. Okay, then as soon as it starts going below the ribbon, you basically take on a trade there, and you see that was so far easy 10 pip move. Okay, so as you can see, this is a live chart, and the indicator does not repaint. Okay, the indicator does not repaint, and generally these are the sort of currencies I tend to trade. I mean, I don't really look at FTSE a lot, but I mean, today US market is closed, so I've actually got that. Here generally I would tend to have either oil or gold. Okay, if I'm trading the Dow and German, I mean, these are the two markets I really love to trade. Low spreads, plus of course GDP. That's in fashion at the moment. So as you can see, the market plunging. Yeah. Okay.
There. So we've got one more question before we go. Is the 997 offer, is that a one-off lifetime membership? Asks Yannick.
Right. That is a one-to-one mentoring, and that basically will last you for the whole year. Okay. So I will be available to help you and guide you throughout that 1 year on a one-to-one basis. Okay, so you get access to the broadcast, access to the live trading seminars, etc.
Okay. Jay, thank you very much indeed for joining us. That we're just on 4 o'clock, so we'll need to draw it to a close. We've got our next speaker.
Brilliant.
So thank you so much for joining us. It's been great to hear you.
Thank you very much, and happy trading, and God bless everybody.
We'll keep
Goodbye.
Many thanks.